Hello everybody. Sushi, get your face off of there. This is Elissa from Minkarts and Crafts, and today we are going to be doing another sponsor showcase. So today I'm going to talk about Randa's Crafty Corner, and I'm going to talk about my hoard of stuff that I have from Randa's Crafty Corner. I might also, basically, they are my favorite putty shop ever. So we're going to look at what I have putty-wise from them in my hoard, which Sushi is sniffing and investigating. And then we're going to pull up their Etsy so we can see what everything looks like on there. So anyways, we're going to go into it. I have a lot of putty. This is one of my putty trays. And I found that since I've moved here to Florida, the only putty that I've found that works for me in the climate out here has been my Randa's putty. So I've been using a lot of it, and I've just gone through like three things of this just recently. So like I said, I have a lot of putty. I do plan on purchasing some more Randa's putty because I've decided I want to get rid of the other putties that are not working for me and buy more of the putty that does work for me. So I will be, so that's something that's, on my agenda to do. And this is the perfect time to buy more putty from Randa's Crafty Corner. Randa's Crafty Corner. Sorry, it's morning and my voice isn't working well. And that is because Randa's Crafty Corner is offering us a 20% off code on all of the items in their entire shop. So that's good from now through the 14th of March. So you can take full advantage and buy all of your goodies. And then we've got, a couple winners that will get to have some Randa's putty. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and break into this and see what we've got. Hey, what are you doing? Carcass. She's a silly baby. She's a silly baby. So, what are you doing, Sushi? I feel like this cat has dandruff. It cracks me up. What? Are you going to move so you're not, taking up half the view, little cat? She's helping me today. So anyways, we're going to break into it and see what putties that I have from Randa's Crafty Corner. So we've got gingerbread putty. And one of the things that, so Randa's putty all comes the same way. You're going to see it just like this in this little container. And then you have the wax paper. And then you've got the putty. And it's going to be a white putty. And you've seen most of these. I'm not going to open them all because you're just going to see a white pad of putty like this. So I'm not going to open them all for you. Yeah. So since it all looks the same, just like this, I'm not going to open them all. All you'll see is the ones that I have used some of, just usually a spot or two for most of them. I've been trying to go through, instead of using every time I get new putty, getting a new putty, I've been trying to just, work one pad of putty until it's gone, which is basically what I've been doing lately. So that's why the first thing that you see in my putty is the G for gingerbread, because I put them in alphabetical order. So we have a gingerbread putty, and then we have iced lemon biscotti, which is one that I really do love. I also have indigo seeds. Don't ask, I can't smell right now. My nose is all stuffed up this morning. Lime, mistletoe, that one's a good one. I love the minty type ones. Orange sickle and fruits. I love orange and fruit scents. Palm tree breeze, I do really love that one. Peach citrus. There's a couple that I have that I need to order more of because I've used them all. So we have pine breeze. We have a sea moss and sage. That one's a really good one. I like that. We have a spiced caramel pear, a vanilla spice. I'm a sucker for vanilla. And then we have warmth of the holidays. And then the last one is white Tahitian woods. This one is almost empty. There's only that much left in it because it's such a good one. I do really like that one. So those are the putties that I have from Randa's Crafty Corner. So we're going to take care of these, and then we're going to pull up the iPad and we're going to take a look at their Etsy. So that way we can see what all they have and what kind of scents I want to buy as I, replenish my putty stock. Because I have a ton of putty, but I have not used any of it besides Randa's in months, because that's the only putty that's working for me out here in this humid Florida weather. All right, so we're over here on Etsy. I typed in Randa's Crafty Corner right there, and this is one of the first things that popped up was a couple of them from Randa's Crafty Corner. So I'm going to go to their actual shop. You can just type in etsy.com/shop/Randa's Crafty Corner, but, I'm showing you how I typically go about it. Usually I favorite things, and I go from there. So these are going to be diamond painting accessories, and what's awesome is they restock every Monday afternoon. They're based out of Colorado. Been established for a hot minute. So you can see here it says 4 years on Etsy, and that's a lot of sales, 42.7 thousand sales. So that's pretty impressive and shows how popular and amazing this putty is. So we're going to see over here, this is like the featured items, but then you can come over here and you can see this is what they have here. So we've got scented wax, cover minders, putty, cross stitch patterns, all of that fun stuff. So as we look at this, we're going to go with what we have. And basically you've got the 20% off. That's going to be the discount code with Lunar New Year 20. You can get the 20% off. So we're going to sit here. There's, you know, they've got a trash drill cover minder. So this is going to be a little one of these with like a little teddy bear on it. I have something similar that a friend gave me. There's also a clearance section. So this is a cover minder that's on clearance. They do have a couple of diamond paintings as well. So there's this one, and I've seen them done, and they're very pretty. But this is Muriel, and they only have a few left before there's going to be no more. And this is from Nymeria Art. It's a 50 by 50 round drills. Let me see what the render looks like. So that kind of shows the a little bit of that render right here, because this is just a pixel, but this is what the actual render looks like right here. So that they do have the 2 diamond paintings, and then this one right here. This one is my favorite one. I think I've seen both of these completed. I do really like the colors in this one. They're not like the standard colors. This one is a 50 by 50 square drill kit, same artist, Nymeria Art. In there you can see the render. There's the pixel look, and it's just very, very pretty. I love the colors on it. And then you can also do bundles. So here, this is going to be a lot of times where you'll have things like put together. So mystery pack, you get 3 scented putties. You don't know what you're getting. There's cashmere and snowflakes where you get that and a cover minder. Evening snow and a cover minder. There is handmade scented candle. I apologize for if you guys hear the sound of a chainsaw. It looks like across the road from me, the power company looks like they are taking down a power pole and putting up a new power pole right off the corner, and they're cutting it down in segments. So anyways, so we have looks like you can get cotton candy or berry witching brew soy wax candle, which is kind of cool. I haven't looked at, I just basically buy the putty and that's it. There's also some strawberry and avocado washi tapes. You have the logbook. This is the first logbook that I ever used to begin with, was this one, before I finally settled on what I liked for a logbook. But I did start off, my very first ever logbook was Randa's logbook. And it was basically, you had the photo, you have your information that you want there. You can put any events in there. And that's what it was. But that was the very first one that I ever did. And you can see that's got the information for it right there. And that was where I kind of took the idea for what I keep in my logbook now, was basically because this is how I had started using my logbook, very first one I ever did. And there is also a cross stitch pattern right here. You've got crafting as my coping mechanism. And then we get into the putty. So with this, it's like, there's one listing, but you have all the scents. So right now, what's in stock right now, and this will be, they will be restocking the shop. I haven't looked to see what's going to be restocked. I don't know that data, but it will be restocked this afternoon, which is going to be, give you potentially more options. So I might wait until this afternoon to see, but there's the ones that are in stock. We have Reindeer Retreat, Blueberry Mint, Love Struck, Lily, Unscented, Apricot, Rice Krispie Treats, Captain Crunch Berries, April Fresh Fabric Soft, Stress Relief, Cherry. Usually a Stress Relief is an eucalyptus one. I do like the Stress Relief ones. There's Cherry, Passion Fruit and Guava, Monkey Farts, Rainbow Sherbet, Rose Water, Caramel Nut Muffin, Butter Mint Candies, Pineapple Vanilla. Ooh, I think I need to get that one. Cheesecake and Berries, Lemon and Basil. I need that one. Rainy Spring Day, Coconut Macaroon. I have to have that one. Hazelnut Cream, Cinnamon Donut, Mango Madness, Sweet Moscato, Gummy Bears, and Citrus Breeze. And what's really cool is, it's not like this is going to be the scents that you always have. There's always that rotating amount of what you can get. So yeah, I'm excited for this to be able to get some more putties. And it's always cool seeing what new flavors or scents, not flavors, scents you end up with throughout. So I'm going to be picking up some putties for sure. They also have a whole bunch of different cover minders. I have one on my fridge that's like the dumpster fire one. I'd have to look. I haven't looked at their cover minders in ages. Oh, I like that one. This is Fine Cat with fire. So yes. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything is fine. Those are some of the favorite ones that I have. There's a corgi butt. But yes, they have all sorts of cute cover minders. I've got a handful from their shop, but I've really tried to cut back on my cover minders. I do have this one, the Kawaii Moon Cat. I have that one. And I think one of the other ones, let me see if I can find if they still have the other one that I have, which is probably like my favorite one of their cover minders. Let's see. Oh, that panda macaroon is cute. Dumpster fire is what the other one is, if they still have it. They might be sold out. Oh, they have I might have to get that purple Labubu as well. Because I have a Labubu cover minder / needle minder. Well, they're all interchangeable that I have on my cross stitch right now. Yeah, so super cute cover minders. And then they also have scented wax. And you've got your, as we look here, this is like the, it's in a, like a little, is that a glass jar? So basically, you've got scented wax 2.0, so which is an option that you can do. You scrape it across the surface. I don't actually own any of their wax. Our scents that you can see you've got sandalwood, guava, berry waffle cone, coffee shop, apple cider, pumpkin pie, marshmallow fireside, forest pine, strawberry lemonade, cucumber melon, orange blossom, Rice Krispie treats, love struck, Hawaiian ginger, ooh, tropical cherry colada. So you've got options for your wax, and then they also have a hard and sticky wax. Again, I've never used their wax, so I don't know how it goes, and we're going to have some similar scents. I'm not going to list all of them or read them out for you guys for those ones, but definitely options for there. And everything, like right now, the sale that the shop is running is basically spend $50, get 20% off. But however, for the event, you can use the Lunar New Year 20 code and get 20% off with no minimum. So you can get that just right across the board. I need to come pick what putties I want. I'm like, maybe I should wait until this afternoon, but I'm at least going to populate and say what I want. Let's see. Apricot. Ooh, that one might be good. Stress relief. I'm going to get a stress relief. Add that to my cart. I'm not going to log in right now because, you know, and then I'm also going to do a passion fruit and guava. I love the fruity scents, so we're going to add this one to my cart as well. Oh, wait. I didn't need to go one. I got one too carried away. And then monkey farts is usually like a banana type one. So I'm not going to do that. I'm doing the pineapple vanilla. I need some pineapple vanilla. And then lemon and basil. I love the citrusy smells. So I'm probably going to wait until this afternoon with the restock and see what else we get in there and potentially get some. I'm definitely getting a coconut macaroon. That one is a must. And citrus breeze. We're going to go with citrus breeze as well. So those are I've put those ones into my cart. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 of them in my cart. We're going to come over here so you guys can see what I put in here. So I put in so I put in some different scents there. It doesn't say because, you know, of the way it's set up. But anyways, I've picked the different scents. And now it's going to be a matter of just, you know, waiting for the restock to potentially add some additional scents to this. And I'll input my 20% off code and go from there. But that's basically what you get from Randa's Crafty Corner. I'm all about their putty. It is fantastic. I have it in all of my multi-placers and I love it to pieces. So I'll show you guys how I actually like fill my multi-placer with my putty. So we'll do that. I'll put this off to the side and I'll show you guys how to actually do that. In case you're curious or you've never used putty and you wanted to try it out, that will give you the how-to. Apparently I have a little bit of a frozen raspberry lemonade right there. But we're going to grab one of my pens. We're going to grab, which one does it look like needs it the most? This one. Okay. So I'm going to grab a pen and I'm going to show you guys what I do when I want to change my putty. So first up, you can see here I've got some dirty used putty in here. So I take a pair of tweezers and I scrape the putty out. I use the Diamond Art Club thin multi-placers. I pull the putty out, get it off of the tweezers, and then I will open up the new putty And you can see this one is almost, I'm making good progress on because I'll use it both ways. So now from here, I like to flatten that part. And then all I do, I kind of come at it from an angle to get that deep part of the ridge. And then I go down and I squish down and push until it kind of pulls it off. So now I then squish this down into there, and it's a little bit flatter than what I like, or a little bit less than I like. So I'll fold that little bit of extra over, and they still feel like I need just a tiny bit more. So that's when I come in and I kind of come right there, but then I angle it like this. So I'm scraping just the tippy top off. So now I have filled that little bit extra, and then I use my finger to kind of squish it all into position. And boom, I have a nice freshly loaded multi-placer. I will sometimes do that to get the excess off the edges, but I don't need to. And then if I were to like need to do it again, I kind of squish that back and start over again from there. But that's how I load my putty into my multi-placer. In case you were curious, I do the same thing regardless of what size multi-placer I'm using. I can it'll be like, okay, here, and then I'll come up to, if this wasn't big enough, if I'm using a large one, I'll say, okay, I'm going to fill this portion of it, because if it stopped there, and then I will move and fill the next portion of it and do the same exact thing that I just did for you guys. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing what you can get from Randa's Crafty Corner. I am a sucker for their putty. I find it to be absolutely amazing. It is my favorite putty to use, and out of all of the putties that I have, that is the putty that has worked well for me regardless of where I've lived. When I lived out in California in the desert, so the high desert, I was in the Mojave Desert, that area, the very, very dry, very little humidity, and Randa's putty worked. And now I'm in Florida with very high humidity, and Randa's putty works. There's a lot of the putties that I had that I used to be able to use in the desert that I can't use out here because of the humidity level. And I do not plan on ever moving back to the desert. So that's something that, my go-to is Randa's. And I'm a firm believer that if you find something that you like, yeah, you feel free to try other new stuff. But once you find what you like, I tend to kind of like stick with that. And I may onesies and twosies try other stuff, but I have yet to find anything else that works as well for me as Randa's putty. And putty is a very, very so many factors go into what works well for you with a putty. One of the things that it does is the climate of where you're living. So that's going to really impact it. But like I said, I find that Randa's works well for me both in dry and in humid climates. I'm also a very heavy placer, so that's something else that plays a huge part too, because you're pressing heavy, you're going to go through your putty a little bit more frequently. I typically replace my putty almost on a daily basis when I'm actually actively diamond painting, and that's because I can do like a 4-hour session, and I like that fresh putty stick, and I have so much putty that I'm like, why wait until my putty is like I'm struggling with it before I replace it. So I usually replace it on a daily, every couple days basis to make sure I've got the best putty going, and that just helps me kind of like have good consistency of my putty. I'm not one that's like, oh, it lasts me the entire diamond painting. I don't have patience for that. I would rather change it out and have that fresh scent again as I start the day. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this look into Randa's Crafty Corner and seeing some of the variety of putties that you can get. The scents change and rotate through, so that's something that you're going to have a variety. I'm interested to see what restocks in there today and see what scents we get added in for the putty today, and I will probably snag some of those newer scents. But anyways, I will let you guys go for today. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.